Boys Baptist Secondary School. Is there any BBSs here? You know, so do you have anything to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Auntie. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming to celebrate Grandma's life with us. From what I know, when I met Grandma to now, she has been a wonderful woman. She's kind. I have just two stories. There are a lot, but there's just two that is good memory for me. The first one was when I just went to Akron for holidays. So, Mama likes to talk, Mama likes to greet people, Mama likes to just be happy with people. So, Mama has put a pot of cocoyam to pound and chew. So, I've waited and Mama hasn't come back. So, I went and called a neighbor and she came and started pounding that cocoyam. Immediately, Mama stopped at the road and she wasn't even by the kitchen or so. She started screaming, "Immaculate, oh, Immaculate! Someone is spoiling my tree in the kitchen. Where are you?" It was so funny because, yeah, I've never pounded a tree before. So I was the only one in the house, so I knew I was the one pounding that. So that memory sticks. So each time when I go there, I remind her that when I first came, that's what she did. That she didn't even, I didn't know how to pound a tube, but when she came, she assumed that I was the one pounding her tube, spoiling it. So it was really funny. The next one, Yannick said going to the farm. Yeah, that was what we did for holidays. We go to the farm 5 a.m. in the morning, we harvest all this food, and we come back. So each time we come back, the very first time we did, as Mama was a kind lady and knows everyone, every single person passing by the road, Mama is giving all the food. So I keep wondering why we just came back from the farm, we are so tired, and everything that we have, Mama is giving it all away. And Mama did notice it that I was like a little bit angry about it. So she said, no, we have like a lot of food left, and that's how she was kind. Each time it was the harvesting season, know that immediately harvesting season is over, Mama is walking around Cameroon sharing all the food that she had. She had a lot of kids, a lot of brothers, a lot of family members that she gave her food to. So, and Mama has always been there for me since I met her. When I was graduating from the University of Boya, she was the one who came over and was with me, and she has always assured me. Even my family, my mother's family in Bavaria, each harvesting season, Mama was the one who supplied them with corn and potatoes and beans. So that was how Mama was so kind and generous. And those memories, I've kept them and I'm going to pass them on to the great grandchildren. My second daughter is named after her Nana, and she lives exactly like Mama. She behaves like an old mother. So each time people tell her that she's like an old mother, and we act like an old mother. So she's like that picture of Mama, and that she has that passion that Mama has, which is really, really good, and I'm happy for that. So thank you so much for coming. And I wish when you guys go, everyone keep safe journey. And we are just going to keep Mama's memory alive and pass it on to the next generation. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to invite one of my nephews, another Yannick. Yannick Nichols. Yannick Nichols spend a lot of time in Apple, so he would know a lot about Mama. Yannick was who actually spent some time in Apple too, in my age. Yannick's mother is my cousin, Magdalene Asafor. That's my Asafor mother.
Hello everyone, I'm Yannick. I actually spent a lot of time in Akko. When I was born, I think when I was just few months, my mom actually being in Akum, especially in my age, you don't have a mother. All the mothers there are your mother. So from that time, I grew up. I would leave our house, like growing up. By the time I reached 1, 2, 3, especially when Yannick came back. Yannick came back to Cameroon. I think he was really young too. They used to call him Yannick America. They call me Yannick Cameroon. So from that time, we're used to. I would leave my aid from my own compound. I go down there. So I used to be close to Mama there all the time. Growing up, like I said, you are at home. Every child that comes in, you have food, you have drinks. And what I noticed, Mama, they actually bring a lot of other kids, other cousins, someone like Leonard, Muta, they were all there in Akum. A lot of people came to the house and left until when I got to high school and I left too. And luckily, I and Yannick were in the same school, in boarding school, PSS Baku. So even when we came back home, there was still that possibility of always meeting Mama. She always come and ask about how everything was going. And one thing I noticed, Mama was very hardworking. Being in Akum, the main thing they would do was agriculture. They would go to the farm. So even everybody that was around, because even during holidays when I'm back home, I have to go to the farm. You see Mama, she wakes up very early and go to the farm and come back. And till I left and went to high school, Mama actually had stroke some few years. At that time I was probably in high school, and my dad also had stroke. They almost had stroke at the same time. So even when I come back from school and I pass in Akumango, she will always ask about my dad's situation and all that. Till I actually traveled back, came here, and I lost my dad in 2018 to the stroke. And when I went back home, I went and saw Mama. At that time, she was still fine. You could talk to her, she would understand you. Yeah, she really said she was sorry about everything. And I think that was actually the last time I saw Mama. But we have very good memories with her. Especially, I know she used to be very hardworking. If you want to talk about Mama, it will probably take us a whole night. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And where is Father? Come and say something about Mama.
Mama there, or Mananga, call her. She was a very small woman, but her words of encouragement. I remember this phone call that I had with her. I think this was 2017. No, 2018. I was just getting ready to be ordained a deacon for the next year. And I called Uncle Joe, and he was with Mama, so I was talking to Mama. And she says, Desmond, that school, they go fine? I said, yes, Mama, they go fine. He said, okay. He said, concentrate there. I want wait till you be one father. I said, yes, Mama. He said, I know say no easy. And she said, I know say not easy, but nothing for life where it good. It's easy. So I want that you just concentrate. Try to go before, you know. I said, Mama, I don't hear. Okay, bye-bye. And that was it. But when you go through seminary is like going up a mountain. There are some very difficult days. But when you just sit and you think of that, what she was saying, that nothing good is easy. Nothing good is easy. And sometimes in life, you just want to give up hope. But that Mama's words, that nothing good is easy, in Pidgin, the way she said it, stuck with me through diaconate and pandemic and ordination delay and everything, that nothing good is easy. And about a month before she died, my aunt in Houston called and said, oh, Mama is not feeling well. So I tried calling, but network, it's Cameroon, the Grand Ambition. So there was no network as usual. So instead, I just sent a voicemail. And I said, Nangah, I used to, where? The Siko, just where, go back for house. Would he come for December if I can't see you? So when you think about it now, and I was so happy to hear that she heard the message. And when you think about it now, you're like, man, I'm so glad I did that. Yeah. And so the same time I sent that message, I asked my aunt in Cameroon to send some money to the village. They should go and buy her things for tea. So my Uncle Joe, when I bought the stuff, he brought it home and said, Mama, see a thing there for tea where father don't send out. And she just said, okay, that other thing there for tea for kitchen, and just go put down for corner. I want to drink already what father don't bring that so. And you hear things like that, and then you realize that this was her last month. And I take great comfort in knowing that in this last month, she knew that she was loved. She knew that people cared. And our family is one that has, we've had our own share of deaths. We've had our own share of deaths. And when you're a family that you've gone through so much loss, so much struggle, and each one of us become very precious to the other. Each one of us become very precious to the other. And whenever you get a chance to be with your family, whenever you get a chance to hang out with your family, like we do at Garage's house. Some of my friends make a joke that I don't live at the father's house, I live at Garage's house because I'm there almost every evening. But that's because But that's because when you've experienced so much loss in our family, then everybody in that family becomes precious. And you want to spend as much time with each other as you can. Because one minute the person is here, the next minute they are not. And if my mother's death can teach us anything, is that your mothers, if you go home and call your mother, if you've not spoken to your mother, call your mother, give your mother a hug. If your mother is dead, like myself and Reggie here, say a prayer for them tonight. Because at the end of the day, all we got is family. So, Mama there has lived her life. She was always there when you needed her. And she did all sorts of crazy stuff. Stuff that young girls today would not dare to do. But she was there for the family when we needed her. Always supporting, always pushing people forward, even while she was in a wheelchair. And so we thank God for that. And she has gone home to join her father and her brother and her mother and the rest of the children and Wankis and Asafor family. So may she rest in peace. Amen. This is a part of the family that cries.
Thank God you didn't cry.
Thank you again for coming. Thank you very much for being part of this celebration. Thank you for contributing to this, wonderful experience for me to see that there's so much love. I'm really, really grateful for this. This is Severine. Should I give you the microphone?
Yes.
At least I'm glad she cried. Thank you for crying.
So finally, Garaji cried. See, crying is not for everybody, okay? And there are so many reasons behind crying. When you see somebody crying, don't only think they're missing their mother. The only thing they feel the pain of a mother who is gone. Sometimes crying is as a result of regret. And if there is anything that any of us would take home tonight, is the fact that love and love and love and show love to your mother, your parents, those who are still alive. You don't understand until they are gone. There are some things you think they will still happen, but when they disappear, you start crying. You see somebody wailing and weeping because deep in them, they are like, I should have, I would have. So when you see people crying, the only thing they're crying because they really are missing. They're crying sometimes because they're regretting their actions. They're regretting why they didn't call their mothers back home and just say, Mama, I love you. They're regretting why they didn't even just send the money or just ask somebody to go give them food. That's the reason why they're crying. So if you are living today, from here, take it one thing that you should take home. Take care of your parents while they are still alive. Take care of your parents while they are still alive. Those who have taken care of their parents, they will sleep like Gary G is doing, because she did a marvelous job. So put your hands together for Gary G. That's it. We're going to take a break from all the talking and all the seriousness. There is change. I'm ready. Please put up your hand and I'll run to your table. I will run to your table. There's change. We have enough. Let nobody say, I don't have money. You came here ready. We have Cash App. We have Zelle as well. So it's not an excuse. If you want, just Zelle the money and we'll give you the cash. Does that make sense? So we don't want any excuses. There's this table right here. Sis May is there. She will take care of your money. Please go to that table because we're going to dance right now. And we're still going to shower Gary G and all the grandchildren and who are present here tonight. We want the grandchildren to really display their love for Mama Kati and Yannick. Those are the two who are present tonight. Who else? Who? Kati was pointing at somebody. Who? Oh, Father Desmond, sorry. Father Desmond, I forgot you're a grandchild, so make sure we want to shower you with money, so come to the table. all the Shesans and Sobans in the house, your father is here. All the lessons, your brother father is here. Please come show grandma's grandchildren some love tonight. DJ, please give us that hot music. We want some music non-stop.